here we go. We're going to throw Sunshine's engine and transmission into the chassis today. So it'll be a quick walk down. So this is a stock F100 chassis with a bolt-in QA1 front clip. Remember I told you it gets rid of your factory front cross member and everything. And so the whole QA1 front suspension. It's a Porter-built rear 4-link. QA1 shocks all the way around. It's a 9-inch. And it's got a Boyd's custom tank in it with a pulse width modulated fuel pump. And we're going to start throwing big parts onto it now. Alright, one thing I gotta find real quick is some nuts and washers for these two motor mount bolts. We did not have any, and none came with the motor mounts, and we just don't have any. So I gotta go find a couple of these, then we can drop this down in. I'll put a jack or a, what do you call it? The other little jack stand, that's the one, under here with a rag to hold this up and lined up so I can pull off my transmission mount that to the transmission, then mount the whole transmission to the engine, tighten my flywheel bolts, put my starter in, and oh, when we get the drive shaft, I'll put the drive shaft in, and then you can see rolling chassis with the whole drivetrain in it. Alright, found myself some hardware, so we're gonna throw this thing down in the frame and throw that hardware on there. Well, as luck would have it, my tripod broke for the GoPro, so I'm going to lower this thing down and get it all lined up, and then I'll bring you guys back after it's made it up to the transmission, to the engine. Okay, transmission is bolted in. I set my height all the way up on my transmission mount, what little bit of adjustability we have, because I think we had that all set up that way, and that put us to the right angle we needed for driveline and engine sitting and all that. So now the only thing I'm going to do is center up my engine side to side and then tighten these nuts all the way down, and then I can finish tightening the transmission cross member to the mount, and then I can do my torque converter bolts, put my starter in, get all that stuff done. Okay, she's all bolted in externally. I still got to do the torque converter and a few other things, but mounts wise it's all done. Front mounts are bolted, rear mounts are bolted. As you can see, we've got plenty of clearance between the steering and the oil filter relocation, and that's why you have to run this with the rack and pinion. We've got plenty of clearance up here for both of my 90s off of there, and we got tons and tons of clearance over here. So once I get the converter bolts in, I can put the starter in, and then put the exhaust manifolds in, and then put the drive shaft in. Hey, you guys want to know the best and the worst thing about my OCD? Well, the best thing is that I'm super thorough. The worst thing is that if somebody comes up to me in the middle of me doing one of my 900 steps I have planned out in my head and bothers me, you know, especially this time for absolutely no reason, I forget stuff. Like putting the plate in between the engine and the transmission. So we're going to take all this back apart now.
I am dead inside.
Well, here we sit. The driveline is all done. We can go back to the shop now. I can start making some lines, power steering, transmission cooler, start running my wiring. But we are all together.